Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. It is March 2nd, 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier this evening, I was speaking with another Planet X researcher and investigator, my man, Relentless Maverick. And, we were just having a general conversation about what is happening to our Earth, what is happening out there in the solar system. And we were also having a pretty good conversation on common sense. But we'll get into that common sense factor another time. But Maverick shared a video with me, and he sent me over the information. And this is a video of all of the known objects that NASA has been tracking all the way back to, I believe, the early 1970s. And I was quite amazed at this footage. I'm going to share it with you. I have it loaded into my video player because I'm going to be slowing it down and I'm going to show all of you this. Now, NASA tracks all of these objects. They refer to them as NEOs, near-Earth objects. And yes, we do know that our solar system is a very, very busy place. But if you just give me 1 second, folks, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my live chat real quick so I can see what's happening. And I wanted to share this with all of you because this goes right along with what I was talking about in my live stream the other day. Where did Planet X come from? Where did these objects come from? How did they get into our solar system? And that's always been one of the big questions. Where did they come from? Well, let's just say, do we know where anything comes from when dealing with space? And that's kind of where that common sense factor comes in. Scientists, astronomers, astrophysicists, they can say whatever they want. A lot of it is based on theory. But I found this video absolutely amazing. And I'm going to get to it in a few minutes. I want to give everyone a chance to get their lightning fast notifications from YouTube so they can step on board with us and check this out. Because whenever I viewed this, I was totally amazed. And what Maverick said, he said a few things to me that kind of enlightened me and really got me thinking. And I've never seen this type of animation before. And again, what we're going to be watching are all of the objects coming into our solar system, going all the way back to 1970, all the way up to the year 2015. Now, granted, this video production was put together in 2015. We are already in the beginning stages of 2019. So whenever we get to the end of it, this crowded place that we call our solar system is probably even more crowded. But it just shows you what I was talking about the other day when I was saying, sometimes people just go through life with these blinders on and they just think in the lines of everything that they were taught. Okay, granted, that's normal. But whenever you delve into subjects such as investigating Planet X or investigating space, or even investigating any type of conspiracy theory, you have to really keep an open mind. You have to try to absorb everything. And that's exactly what I do. And after viewing this information that Maverick sent over to me, and after we talked about it, really got me thinking. And I wanted to share it with all of you. I was going to do a live stream on something totally different, and we'll get to that in a short while. But this is going to show you how many things have come into our solar system over the last 20, 30, 40 years, 40 plus years. So who is to say, take your blinders off, but who is to say that rogue planetary objects, stellar core objects, Planet X objects, Nibiru, Wormwood, the Destroyer, the Red Dragon, whatever you want to name it, they can pass right through our solar system like today, tomorrow, by the end of next week. So for those people out there that tell you, oh, that's nothing but a bunch of BS, well, that's the only thing that they can actually say, but they can't back that up. And I think over the course of the last several years, we've shown enough observational evidence to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that, yes, we do have a very large intruder out there near our sun. And it seems to be that it has definitely taken its toll on our star. And we rely on that sun. We rely on that star with our lives. There's no doubt about that. And many things are changing on this planet on a day-to-day basis now. Things are happening so rapidly, I can't even keep up with them now. As I said before, it is truly amazing to live in these times now if you have those blinders off and you have become one of these people who are enlightened. There may not be many of us, but I think those numbers are growing. Excuse me. But that is one bit of advice that I'd like to give each and every one of you, is regardless of what you believe in, you need to take those blinders off. We all need to use some common sense. But we also have to accept the facts, and the facts that are being placed in front of you as good, hardcore observational evidence. I can show you something that is out there by the sun. We refer to it as Planet X or a stellar core. And then there will be others that say, well, that's nonsense. Oh, that doesn't exist. Oh, that's just fake. Excuse me. But that's the best that they have. I'm concerned about my fellow man. I'm concerned about the world that we live in, the earth. Without it, well, I don't exist, and you don't exist. Like I've said before, I enjoy researching space. I find I find it very, very fascinating. I always have, even as a child. But I don't want to go live on some other planet, and I don't want to live on Mars in some freaking secluded habitat. I don't want to float through the galaxy and the universe in a spaceship. I want to stay right here on Earth with blue sky, trees, little forest animals. I want to complete my life right here. I don't want to go anywhere else. And I'm not trying to fear-monger here, but I do truly believe that our planet is in jeopardy. There's no doubt about it. You see all of the politicians all of a sudden, starting in 2019, they're all rattling off at the mouth with climate change, save the planet, climate change. Well, hey, listen, we've been talking about this for quite some time. Man is not going to save the planet, no matter what we do. We have way too many factors out there that are beyond what we can control. Like I've said before, understanding or trying to understand what is happening kind of cuts a little bit into that fear factor. It works for me. I don't know about others, but I'm a very analytical person. So, delving into the problem, looking for a solution kind of helps me. Kind of helps me understand. And again, it does cut into that fear factor. It kind of lessens the fear. I don't think that we should be so fearful, but I do think that we should be prepared for some things that you probably would have never thought about in a million years. Now all of a sudden, like I said, these bozo politicians are running around crying the blues about the climate when they know damn well for decades they've been manipulating the climate. They'll deny it to the day you put the last nail in their coffin. But that's all beside the point. But let's get down to this solar system and how it has become a very, very crowded place. And the reason why, I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here real quick. The reason why I thought this would be a really good idea to show all of you this is because this just proves my point that other objects, many objects, can come from anywhere. My last live stream, I mentioned hypervelocity stars and hypervelocity planets. And over the course of the last couple of years, there has been so many discoveries about all of these exoplanets, and astronomers are making, as they say, leaps and bounds in finding all of these objects outside of our solar system. Hey, listen, Mr. Astronomers, let me give you a little bit of advice here. Instead of paying attention to what the hell is all the way outside of our solar system, how about paying attention to what is in our solar system? Start paying attention to what is jeopardizing our planet that we live in, or live on, excuse me. But this video tracks all of these objects since 1970 is when it began, and that's the beginning of this model. This model stretches all the way out till 2015. And if you watch my cursor here, you'll see the year right here. You'll see the year tick by, and at the same time, you will see the amount of new objects appearing, and that counter will go up. You see the sun in our solar system, and this is a downward view looking down on the solar system, so it's a flat plane, easier for you to see. And you see the sun right in the middle where my cursor is. You'll see Mercury, Venus, the Earth, and Mars, and the outer planets, and it stretches all the way out. It doesn't go out any further than Jupiter. And internally here, you will see all of these objects, and you will see these other little small red objects. But what I want you to, and I'm going to slow it down later on so we can take a look at this. But what I want you to pay very close attention to, and this is what I noticed within this model, and this is all based on the actual objects that NASA tracks. They track all of these objects, all of these near-Earth objects. As soon as they are detected, they put them on the map. And they watch them, and they track them. And they've been doing this for a very, very long period of time. But what you will notice is you will see the sun, which is a very powerful star. You will see this sun of ours grab a hold of these objects and pull them in. They will make their little orbit and they will be slung right back out, but they will come back in. And you're going to see this continuously till the screen is completely flooded with more and more and more objects. Something else that you're going to see, if you pay very close attention, is you will see so much activity around the sun, but then you will see the sun clear out its space, meaning that the sun kind of brushes off these objects. It clears out all of the space around itself, and then it pulls them all right back in. So when I was doing these last couple of live streams, and I was trying to explain to everyone, and I'm going to go ahead and start this now. And just watch very carefully. Watch the years go by. Watch the amount of objects starting to appear. When you see those flashes moving around, those are new objects that are being detected and added to all of the other objects that are out there. And you'll see droves and droves of them just starting to appear. It almost looks like water going down the drain. And then again, if you pay very close attention, you will see those small little objects, and they'll come out. You see that one stopped, and what happens? It gets sucked right in close to the sun and loops right back out. Now again, those little blue spheres, that's Mercury, Venus, the Earth, Mars. Jupiter's way, way out here. So, getting back to what I was saying, as this Planet X object came in, it was probably coming in at probably a pretty good speed for who knows how long. Could have been hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, millions of years. We don't know where it came from. It's space. Things come from every single direction. But getting back to the theory that I have formed over the years, and all of the observational evidence that I've showed all of you, well, it supports my theory that this object came up from the depths of space. It made its way close enough to the sun where the sun's gravitational force sucked it right in. As it brought it all the way in towards the sun, Well, just like you see these other objects, they're looping around the sun and they're being catapulted back out, but they come back in. And as they come back in over the years, you will see their orbits get tighter and tighter and tighter. Now, as we continue to watch that clock and the date over in the left-hand corner, we're at 1994, 1995, and you could see the counter increasing very rapidly. So either we are going through a part of space in our galaxy that was just polluted with objects. I don't know. That's what I would have to assume. So whenever you're seeing the lighting, like right here, these are all brand new objects that are being lit up in white. They're being added to that counter. Now you can see how many objects have been tracked. And if you look very close, I'm going to go ahead and crop this. That's why I left it in my video player, because we're going to look closer at the center part of our solar system. So you can see what I'm talking about. As these objects come in, they'll be sucked in by the sun, they'll be looped around and shot back out. But as time goes on, that orbit gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And that's exactly what has happened to this Planet X object, this stellar core object. And listen, folks, don't get me wrong. This main object definitely has other smaller bodies with it. They're definitely rotating around the main object. I just don't have, crystal clear photographs of it. I don't have tons of evidence on it. I do have one photograph that I was able to capture. I believe it was early in 2018, that shows the main object with a lot of smaller objects right near it. And I'll go ahead and try to find it, and I'll pull it up. But you could see, here we go. We're in the year 2015, and that's as far as this video goes, up to 2015. But just take a look at your screen. I mean, wow, we went from almost a complete blank screen to this huge green circle. Now that's the beginning. Right there. This was the beginning stages in 1970. And let me go ahead and we'll just pop all the way out here to 2015. That's a huge, huge difference. Now, what I'm going to do, bear with me 1 second. I got this in my video player because I needed to crop this back and forth and have a little more control over the video. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just shrink this down a little bit so we could see just a little bit closer to the center. Just pull this down. We'll say okay to that. So now we're a little bit closer and we've kind of zoomed in a little bit. And what I want to do, I almost forgot, I wanted to slow this down. So let's just slow the speed down just a little bit. We'll slow it down 25%. So that way we can see these objects as time goes by. And what I'm referring to those little dots right there that you see. You see them? They look like a bunch of little ants. But you can see how tight they come in around the sun and they get flung back out into the solar system. But what? They come back. They come back for some more. And as I was watching this, I noticed as the dates increased, those objects got tighter and tighter, and their orbits got shorter and shorter to the point where they were very, very close to the sun. And I mean coming so close, if you watch, they'll come so close and they'll loop right around and they'll get flung back out. So it's amazing to have something like this, and you'll see other objects coming into view for the very first time. And it's hard to see this unless you actually have control of this video yourself, and you're sitting and you're analyzing it, and you're paying attention to one object, like that one right there. And then look what it just did. It just changed course, and it literally got sucked in, and now it's making a very tight orbit. So that object was coming from way out here. It came in, it got within the sun's gravitational pull, and it sucked it right in. And it's still going, and it's kind of erratic. So that kind of goes right in line with our theories of, okay, our solar system encountered this object, it came in, it didn't just pass through, it came in, and it stayed. It stayed. It's here. So that takes away from the whole mythological Nibiru story, where that object was on a 3,600-year orbit around the sun. This also kind of takes away from the whole theoretical idea of Planet 9. Big, gigantic planet way out there on the outskirts of our solar system with a 20,000-year orbit. You know, folks, I've delved into that whole Planet 9 theory, and none of it makes any sense. If that Planet 9 object is that big, then it must have one hell of a gravitational field, and most likely one hell of a magnetic field. So, as you see all of these orbits kind of shrinking, why wouldn't the Planet 9 orbit shrink? And remember, folks, the Planet 9 theory is not based on any observational evidence. It is based on a mathematical equation on a chalkboard. I truly think that the Planet 9 theory was put out there as a massive disinformation campaign to just mess with everybody's mind. But just looking at your screen, you see so many objects. Now, I'm not saying these are planets. These are asteroids, meteors, near-Earth objects. But just look at the magnitude, the amount over the course of 30, 40 years. And people are wondering why they're seeing weird things in the sky that they can't explain. You know, just normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill, Mary and Joe happen to start, becoming sky watchers, and people are taking their photographs, and we're seeing these red skies, purple skies, burnt orange skies. We see the, I can't use that one C word if you know what I'm talking about, because they'll demonetize my video and they'll bury it in the doldrums of YouTube, but it's that word that starts with the CHEM. I'm going to show you some pictures I took the other day, but you wonder why they're out there doing all of that in the sky. Are they trying to protect us from something? You know, maybe dealing with those cosmic rays that have steadily been increasing over all of these years, and they're still on the incline. There may be a possibility, folks, that I don't even believe I'm going to say this, but I'll give it a shot. There may be some good to the aerosol injection crap that the government does. Maybe they are trying to help save the planet. But you know, those governments are so devious in everything that they've done over decades, it's hard to trust them. But just looking at this, over a course of these several decades, wow, our solar system is literally polluted with all of these objects. I'm going to go ahead and just let that play through again. All of these objects being tracked since 1970. And as you look at your screen now, it doesn't look too bad. But as the time goes on, hell, it looks like a pretty violent place out there. But again, you can see these objects because I slowed it down. And if you watch them, there you go. This one's looping out. And it will come back. Is that what our Planet X object did? It brought its little system of visitors up from the depths of space. Our sun's gravitational field, a gravitational force, sucked it right in, flung it back out, but it was captured again. So once an object is stuck in a star's gravitational field, that's it. It's over, rover. You're not breaking free. The smaller object does not have the energy to cut loose. So therefore, it is stuck in an orbit around that star. And I'm not just necessarily talking about our solar system, folks. These are dynamics that occur in the entire universe, not just here. Let me grab a sip of my coffee here real quick, and you guys watch all of this happen within our solar system. Give me 1 second. I gotta stop drinking this Dragon's Breath coffee. No wonder my pulse rate's up to 100. So this just goes to show you that, you know, people think that we're crazy, and as Jeff Darty says, we're all nothing but a bunch of idiots. But who's the real idiot here? I mean, we're using science. We're using scientific theory. We're using models of science. So who's the real idiot? I happen to think that all of the followers of Planet X News and other channels in relation are not stupid. You all are very, very bright intelligent, and enlightened people. There's just not that many of us. But that group is growing. And more people are stepping over the threshold into that enlightenment. That's a fact. But this was a really, really, truly amazing video model that Maverick sent over to me. And, Maverick, if you're out there listening to me, my man, thank you very much for enlightening me today. Because, again, this just shows me, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that our solar system is literally, and has been for decades, under siege by things just coming out of nowhere, coming from the depths of space. Remember, folks, I've said before, if you think that our solar system is in some kind of a Goldilocks zone and that we cannot be infiltrated by anything, then those blinders that you have on, they're huge. Take them off. Every day, folks, we go outside, we take a look up into the sky. We can see the changes. If you're in your late 30s, early 40s, 50s, 60s, then you know exactly what I mean. Everything up above is different. Everything. They didn't have these aerosol injections when I was a teenager. I started to investigate that back in 2005. I was wondering, what in the hell are all these lines all over the place? The nearest airport's 65 miles away from me. Why are they putting grid patterns, like big tic-tac-toe boards, in the sky? I have a very good friend of mine who is an air traffic controller at Pittsburgh Greater Airport. He's been on the job now for, I think, about 15 years. I press him all the time to talk to me about that subject. He won't. I think they're under some type of, confidentiality paperwork. It won't say anything about it. But I wanted to share that with all of you because I thought that was very, very interesting to see how flooded our solar system has become over those decades from 1970 to 2015. That was pretty incredible. So, for somebody to say that, I'm going to go ahead and we'll get rid of this, and we'll pull up that piece of video that Mark from Blue Kool-Aid found the other day. And, it just really goes to show you how narrow-minded people are, that they think that it's impossible for another larger object to enter our solar system. I mean, that's pretty stupid. But then again, these may be the people that are placed out there to purposely try to discredit you and to purposely try to change your minds as, being the viewers, and they think, oh, well, okay, this guy in the comment section, he may be right. Okay, I won't watch this stuff anymore. I won't delve into researching this or investigating it or watching it. And then they've done their job. And then you continue on with your life, not knowing what in the Sam hell is going on up above you. And then one day, it's too damn late. All hell's broken loose. Climate chaos is now knocking at your door. Earlier today, I've already prepared for a snowstorm that we have that's moving in tomorrow afternoon, early afternoon. And it's not going to be much. I think we'll get like 3 to 5 inches of snow, but it's going to dump very, very rapidly. We've had a pretty mild winter here in the Pittsburgh area. We're into March, but just like I said, I think we're going to have a little bit of an extended winter time. A little bit of snow, rain, and that's going to lead to flooding. And we've already seen the destruction of the flooding, which has been happening worldwide for the last several years. So once again, how can anybody deny that? What, the floods just happen all of a sudden? They just come out of nowhere. We have areas around the world that are getting a year's worth of rain in like 48 hours. Well, I'd have to say that's not normal. We have areas around the world that are seeing massive temperature increases. Our friends and family members down under in Australia getting beat to hell left and right. They had some torrential rains that just inundated their country. For the last 3 years, temperatures in Australia steadily on the rise. Undeniable. But yet, we don't know what we're talking about. We're fear-mongering. Man, these people need to think of some other terminology. Because it's not fear-mongering. It's facts. Hardcore facts. Earlier today, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here. I watch the sun very, very closely each and every day. I'll go ahead and we'll fire all these up. I watch the sun very, very closely every single day. And things have been pretty quiet on the sun. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the 211 angstrom view of the sun on the SDO. As you can see, the sun's corona, and I've shown this the last couple of months. The sun's corona, it's barely even there. Even in this wavelength of light. I could show you guys the comparison that I did over a several year period, showing the corona shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. But over the last couple of days, I was watching once again. This isn't one coronal hole. It is just massive openings in the sun's atmosphere, releasing the solar wind. As that solar wind is released, and we've gone over this hundreds of times, that solar wind picks up speed, makes its way all the way to the Earth, and this is Earth facing. You're looking at a view from the SDO camera directly towards the sun. And the SDO camera on that spacecraft is situated off to the side of the Earth, basically. We'll just put it that way. So this is the Earth view from that camera. And this is what has been punishing the Earth over the last 5 years. The constant coronal holes, releasing the solar wind, all of the heavily charged particles impacting our planet. Now, even though the solar wind has been moderate in speed and impact, the Earth's magnetic field, our magnetosphere, is now weakening because the sun's magnetic field is now weakening, which means even though we get mild to slightly elevated solar wind, it is impacting the Earth harder. And what just occurred, as all of this solar wind reached the Earth over the last 48 hours, we've seen a barrage of earthquakes worldwide. And then you have those critics out there that say the solar wind and coronal holes have nothing to do with earthquake activity. Well, sir, I beg to differ. All of the data supports what we are saying. If any of you guys listen to Ben Davis over at Suspicious Observer, he is on point 99.9% of the time. The man actually issues earthquake watches based on activity on the sun. So what did we see? We see all of these openings. We see the internals of the sun exposed. Solar wind escaping. Heavily charged particles racing towards the Earth. The Earth's magnetopause, our shield, is weakened because of the weakening state of the sun. The two go together. When the sun's magnetic field is strong, our shield is strong. When the sun's is weakened, ours is weakened. So once again, even though we may be getting moderate solar wind speeds, they now have a greater chance of making it right through our magnetopause, our magnetosphere, impacting the Earth. Now, what just happened over the course of the last 48 hours, and this is the USGS. I've broadened this map out. These are all of the earthquakes worldwide, magnitude 2.5 and greater, over the course of the last 7 days. They're blotted everywhere. We've had some pretty significant earthquakes. Down here in Peru, magnitude 7.0. Depth 257 kilometers deep. That was a deep earthquake, and we barely heard anything about it on mainstream media. There was a magnitude 6.0 in Japan, right off of the coast. Okay, and these were just very, very recent, within the last couple of days. But you could see the ring of fire lit up like the 4th of July. You could see earthquakes all the way up here, north of the little tiny country of Iceland. All of them right on faults. Look at that. 2 earthquakes right on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge fault. There's 2 earthquakes right there. Right on the fault. right on the fault. Fault, 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 fault. All of that, everything that you see here on the earthquake map, all directly coincides with the activity on the sun. Every bit of it. Don't be fooled. We're going to take a look here. Let's just zoom into California. Look at that. Bingo. Boom, 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 boom. Right down the San Andreas Fault. And a small earthquake right here on the Juan de Fuca. So don't let anybody fool you, folks. There's a direct correlation with what is happening on the sun and in direct relation to the earthquake activity on this planet. Now, again, even though the sun is showing less activity in the form of coronal mass ejections and filament releases, when those openings occur and they're directly Earth-facing, and as big and broad as those openings were that we just reviewed on the SDO, all of those heavily charged particles are racing to the Earth. And I'll just put it this way. It's like our shields being down, and we're being hit with all of it. Every bit of it. So that's why we really haven't seen a downtick in earthquake activity. We've just literally seen it continue. And as time goes on, this is going to become a much, much bigger factor as the sun continues to delve into its solar minimum, which scientists say lasts for 11 years. There's a little bit of a debate out there as far as, are we into the solar minimum already, or are we, just hovering over entering it? We're just about to enter it. So there's open discussion on that. I think that we have already entered it. But that's very, very, very critical right there. Because if the sun's interaction with Planet X is getting weaker, meaning Planet X is draining the sun is draining because of the solar minimum. It's going through its 11-year cycle. Wow, we are damned. That means everything that you see on your screen now, maybe in a year from now, it's tenfold. We can't really say because I broke my crystal ball a long time ago and I can't, delve into the future there. But what we must do is we must continue to stay right where we're at, banded together as enlightened people who are smart and who are intelligent people, not idiots like Jeff Daugherty says we are. A guy that's said he played hockey. I told him, I'm like, look, dude, maybe you took a couple of blows to the head and one of them really rocked your world. Because the fact of the matter is, all of the data backs up everything that we say. Everything that we're showing all of you, you're looking at it. So things are getting a little critical. I wanted to bring up the null school, and just give me 1 second. We'll go ahead and pull that up, and we're going to take another quick look at what's happening within the jet stream and how erratic it is. And this is something that we need to pay close attention to. Never in all of my weather watching woes have I ever seen the jet stream like this, dipped down so low. And I doubt if any of you guys remember, but back in September and October of 2018, I mentioned that the jet stream was going to be taking what looked to me to be about anywhere from a 15 to a 20-degree dip into the United States. I said that back in September, October. And sure enough, yeah, man, it's taken one hell of a dip. Absolutely erratic weather worldwide. And as we just turn and take a look at this jet stream, once again, the state of California, the whole entire state, under siege. Heavy amounts of rain, flooding, snow. I mean, they have it all. And where is that atmospheric river coming? Straight across the United States, straight across the entire country. And you know, you're also seeing very, very weird vortexes. And I mean, here's one that's very odd. Smaller ones up in here. But I'm going to pan out a little bit. But you could see how wide stretched the jet stream is. It's almost off the screen of the globe. And, you know, during, showing you this view. And as we look to the southern hemisphere, well, it's just a little wacky also. Big bands of the jet stream here, really big. I would not even want to be anywhere near this area. And I was talking about that large chunk of ice breaking off of the Antarctic. It's in this area. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and I'll just stop that so we can see it. Remember when I was telling you it's very, very close to the southern tip of South America. So whenever that thing breaks off, I mean, Lord only knows it's going to be out here in these waters here. Hell, it could make its way through this strait, end up in the Atlantic Ocean. Who knows? But that chunk of ice is the size of the state of New York and several miles thick. And it's not the only one that's breaking off at our mysterious Antarctica. So, once again, all of the evidence, you know, it's all right here, folks. Look at this band. Oh my, I've never seen the jet stream dip that low. Straight across northern Africa, straight across Saudi Arabia, blasting through the northern tier, more than half of India. Look at it. Incredible. And again, you know, this is the world that we are now living in, and the weather is getting more and more and more dangerous. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. For any of you that are, you know, hunkered down in the snow belts of the United States right now, please be very, very careful in your day-to-day travels. A lot of accidents happening. There was just a huge multi-car pileup in outside of one of the cities in Canada. I forget where it was. So many of them happening now. But again, folks, try to be as safe as you possibly can. And during these storms, if you don't have to go out, stay the hell home. Wait for things to clear up. The way that things have been going here on the East Coast, we're getting amounts of snow, 2-3 inches. I got 3.5 inches of snow overnight the other day. And by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it was all melted. Why? Because the temperature went from 28 degrees all the way up to 46. So it all melted. It was like it didn't even snow. Very, very unusual. And because of that, the rivers were on the rise. All of the area where I live in the Pittsburgh area, we have three major rivers: the Monongahela, the Ohio, and the Allegheny. They all flow together and into all the way down the Mississippi and all the way out into the Gulf of Mexico. So, like I was saying a few live streams ago, boy, just wait till we get into the latter part of the spring. I think we're going to see a lot of flooding throughout the entire Mississippi Valley and throughout the entire east coast of the United States. I hope the hell that I'm wrong. But as I see things, I'm more than likely right. Small rivers, small streams, small tributaries, they'll be inundated, folks. Water will rise very, very rapidly, very rapidly. So don't play around. And again, we need to keep very, very close watch on this weather. The weather has now become our biggest enemy. I really can't put my foot on what the summertime is going to be like in the northern hemisphere just yet. I'm going to wait till we get past the spring equinox. Hopefully we can get get a good tab on things maybe by late April, early May, on how things are going to wind up for the summertime. But I think that we are going to have a lot to report on. Excuse me. I think the majority of it's going to be pretty damn devastating. And for all of you folks that may live in the Mississippi Valley, anywhere along rivers, large streams, tributaries, things of that nature, mountain runoff, have a plan, have an evacuation plan, and have your preparedness, your little LED lanterns and batteries, emergency medical kit. I actually went to Walmart early this afternoon, and I just had the feeling that, hey, you know what? I need to add some more canned goods to my bug out bins. And this is no lie. I literally went and I bought $150 worth of you guys are probably going to laugh, but I bought $150 worth of the Chunky brand soup. I bought all of the brands. They got the pull tab tops on them now. They're pretty hearty soups, and they're canned. And one can, pretty good meal, fill you up. And if you had to, you could eat it cold right out of the can in the worst case scenario. But I'm not playing around, man. I don't want to be without electricity. I've already gone through several bouts of that with the windstorm and some other situations. I don't want to be without water. Last winter, I was without water for 7 days because we had that deep freeze and we had a main pipe water line freeze in the neighborhood. How the hell that happened? I've never seen that happen before, but it did. Me, all of my neighbors, all of us, none of us had water for 7 days. And that really sunk in with me, not having water for 7 days. Definitely eye-opening. Definitely. We're going to go ahead and jump out of here. We've already talked about the earthquakes and the sun. I wanted to run this report by all of you real quick, and then I'll stop boring all of you to death. But this is over here on the Weather Channel, and this report was just filed, it says, about 5 hours ago. This video report, some of it was from March 1st, yesterday. But the meteorologist lady, she's going to be pulling up a map, and she's going to be showing you this whacked out jet stream and these huge troughs that continue to come down into the central part of the United States as all of the warm air is being sucked up through the Gulf of Mexico, and it's literally converging, and it's just creating big problems. So if this is occurring now at the end of winter, Lord only knows what it's going to be like for the spring. And again, we could probably and most likely see a lot of intense flooding. I hope not. I hope the hell that I'm completely wrong. But let's take a listen to this report. I think it's about 1 minute and 15 seconds, but she's going to show you that trough of ice cold Arctic air and how deep it comes down. And this is the reason why we're having this wacky weather and this climate chaos. So let's take a listen.
Okay, I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of really cold weather, especially when the highs remain below zero, like they will here in Billings on Sunday. But boy, it certainly is pretty across this area. And I know, though, that this time of the year, you can get kind of tired of it, and we've got more to come. We've got this big plunge in our jet stream, and that's bringing down that very cold air, and it's dropping it well to the south. And with that, what you're going to find is some pretty nippy conditions, especially when you add the wind. So we do have wind chill alerts that are up. And look at some of these numbers. Now, these are highs on Sunday. Billings below zero. You're not far behind in Bismarck, Minneapolis, and other places across the plains. It is going to be cold. Monday, not a whole lot better. A little bit, but not a whole lot better. But let's talk about lows. Here's a look at Tuesday morning lows. You'll wake up to these numbers, but then you add the winds in and check out these wind chill values. It is going to be brutal out here. Billings, 40 below zero. Minneapolis, you're going to be 24 degrees below zero. So certainly bundle up and don't pack away those winter clothes yet.
Yeah, whenever she said 40 below zero, yeah, I just got chills. Seem to be I wanted to back that up here real quick because I wanted to stop it at the point where she was, I wasn't paying attention. There's the jet stream. This is what I was talking about right here. So you could see these very large troughs of cold air just barreling down. And I'm just going to go ahead and mute her while they play this this video ad. But that's what I was referring to. These large troughs of cold air are being pushed down throughout the entire center part of the United States as the warm air gets sucked up from the Gulf of Mexico. These two dynamics are merging right in the middle of the United States, and I'm just trying to get to that one little map that she showed there. Oh, there it is right there. Let's expand that real quick. So again, this is this just completely asinine jet stream, and you can see by her arrows here, it's forcing all of this cold air, these plunges of cold air through the central part of the United States. And then way down here, you'll have the streams of warm air being sucked up from way down by the equator. And it's all merging right in this area. The winter storm that we have coming for us tomorrow is not coming from the north to the south. It's coming from the south to the north. Again, very strange, but it's going to be converging right around this area, and there's going to be some pretty good snow amounts through this section of the United States. They're predicting for my area here in Pittsburgh anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of snow. Going to be coming in early afternoon and just dumping the snow, just dumping it all at once. You know, it's a little bit different when you get maybe like a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch an hour. But the way that these storms have been moving, they've been pretty fast, and they're dumping either large amounts of water or large amounts of snow. And that is what causes the big issues. So that was the little jet stream model that I wanted to show you guys. There was one other report here, and then you see down here in the south, I mean, they're getting hammered. Severe threat down in the south with, you see all the rain, thunderstorms, and you know, they may even see some tornado activity. I hope not, because those tornadoes are definitely deadly. Here's one more report. This is the storm that they were talking about to bring heavy snow to the East Coast on Sunday. Let's check it out. Oh, and by the way, the name of this storm, its name is Scott. Winter Storm Scott. Is this thing even playing?
There is rain across parts of California and the West, but we will be following the snow in the higher elevations, and that will be moving across the plains, ultimately into the Northeast. Now, I do want to point out that on the southern fringe of that snowfall, there could be a narrow zone of some sleet and some freezing rain, and then, of course, that rain on the southern end. We'll be following that snow as it moves in across the Ohio Valley, into the mid-Atlantic, and also into the Northeast. Now, this is later in the day, Sunday. Monday morning, we're still watching for some snowfall. That may mess things up for some of you during your morning commute, and then gradually during the day, Monday, it will be pulling away. As far as the amounts of snow that we're looking at, many places, not a whole lot, 1 to 3 inches of snowfall, but notice along the coast, some of those areas like Boston and Bangor, you could be picking up 3 to 5.
Yeah, Winter Storm Scott just rolling through. Yeah, folks, so, you know, this is what we got going on here, weather-wise. It's not looking too good. I know the west coast of California out there, I mean, those guys are, man, they're really getting hammered. I don't know if there's any updates on what's been happening out there in California, but I'm telling you what, let's just check it out real quick. Let's see if we could catch any news on this. This was on the 28th. This had to do with all of the flooding out there in California, and I know they're still not doing too good in some of those communities. They actually have more bad weather coming in from that, as they named it, the atmospheric river that keeps just coming up out of the depths of the Pacific. Wow, look at that.
Wettest winters on record. At least 20 saw their all-time wettest. Now, those include Greenville, South Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina, and Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, this was back on the 28th of February.
What a wet, rainy mess. Cities like Nashville and Knoxville, Tennessee, along with Huntsville, Alabama, saw their wettest February on record. And while it may have seemed super cold, thanks to that polar vortex, no city in the lower 48 actually saw a top 5 cold winter. However, some cities did see one of their top 5 warmest winters. Those include Key West with an average temperature of 75.2 degrees and Jacksonville Beach, Florida with an average temperature of 62 degrees.
You know, folks, there was an article that came out on a news report about Los Angeles the whole entire month of February. I think it said something about them not reaching 70 degrees. I forget how the story went. Let's just check it out, see if I could find it. Oh, here we go, right here. Los Angeles failed to hit 70 degrees in February for the first time in recorded history. Wow. Again, setting all kinds of records with our weather. So for the first time in recorded history, the city of Los Angeles, California, fails to hit 70 degrees. Yeah, they usually have, pretty decent, moderate weather in LA, throughout the entire year. So again, you're seeing it for yourself. We're definitely setting records with our weather. Where's our live stream at? Yeah, I wanted to see the live chat over here. And by the way, I wanted to thank our moderator, Dawn, for helping out. And, as of lately, things have been pretty moderate in our live chats. Not a lot of crazy trolls running around in there because Blue Kool-Aid does a good job moderating our chat. And also Dawn, I'd like to thank her very, very much. She's become a very good friend. And I was criticized, a few days ago by one of the little troll organizations that said that we were doing so much censoring. Our moderators were censoring people in the live chat. Well, folks, when you come to my YouTube channel and you enter the live chat and you say bad things, well, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think we're just going to let you sit there and flap your gums and talk shit? No. You're going to be banned from the live chat like every other YouTube channel on the platform does. We are no different. We expect everybody to be cordial with each other and, chat amongst yourselves during the live stream and so on and so forth. And that's that. We're not censoring anyone. We're just getting rid of the garbage. Simple as that. But listen, folks. Hey, Gary Garcia, how you doing, buddy? I hope that you are feeling much, much better. Gary's a fantastic guy. You see him there in the live chat. Folks, what I am planning on doing, I'm actually working on it right now, is I'm working on a system where I can have some call-ins, and we're going to see how that works out. I was working with some of the software today and how I'm going to put this together. So I'd like to start to hear from all of you. And who actually gave me the thought on this was Adam over at Marfugal TV. He's got a great YouTube channel over there, and I think you guys should definitely scoot over there, check him out. He does some great live streams, touches on a lot of subject matter. And he does these call-ins, and he hears from his followers and his subscribers. And I like the idea. And I think we're getting to the point now where I truly do want to hear from you guys. So I'm going to be putting this platform together over the next couple of days, and we're going to kick this thing off. And maybe a couple of times during the week, we can do this live stream, and we can put the call-in feature together, and you guys can call in, and, we can rap with each other for about 10 minutes. You can give me your thoughts. You can ask your questions. You can give your opinions. And we won't censor anybody. Unless you call in and you're a troll baby. And if that happens, you're going to get the hang up. You've been temporarily disconnected. But folks, I truly think that we're in a time now where people like all of us who have common sense, and for people like us who are truly enlightened to what is occurring here on our planet, I think it's very important. I think it is very vital that we all continue to stick together and support each and every one of us. We all need to support each other. As I was talking with Relentless Maverick earlier this evening, we touched on a lot of subjects, man. We had a great conversation. And I'm going to put something together where I could bring him on, and he's trying to grow his YouTube channel, but you know how YouTube is, man. They really want to bury channels like mine and his and many others. And it's a shame. It truly is a shame. Between Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, they've actually ruined their platforms. They've ruined their businesses. But that's my opinion, It is what it is. What I wanted to do real quick, folks, jump out of here real quick, and we'll jump out of here. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to show you guys these photographs that I took the other day. And speaking of the earthquakes, this was just a screenshot of the earthquake activity right when that earthquake hit in Peru. That was a magnitude 7.1. And this is just a still photograph that I took. But look at the earthquake activity. Look at that. Look at Alaska up there. So, I mean, that just goes to show you that, our Earth is still rocking and rolling, and it ain't going to get better anytime soon. But I took these photographs of the sky, and let me just back out of here because I have them, they're not in order. So let me start here. Now, once again, I can't use that C word. That word I was talking about much earlier. Begins with a C, H-E-M. The rest of the word. I just happened to be outside, and it was a crystal clear day. We don't get very many of them as of lately. And sure enough, I must have jinxed everything, because I was standing outside and I said to Dr. Albers, I said, wow, look, crystal clear day, blue skies, not a cloud in the sky. Oh my God, as soon as I said that, look what starts to happen. Yeah. And then you have those people out there that say, what you see on your screen right now, yeah, it doesn't exist. Yeah, okay. So you're trying to tell me that large jet airliners, like this one streaking across the sky, like that one that just went across the sky, like that one that went across the sky, that the FAA allows them to fly in such close proximity to each other? Okay, whatever you say. So within a matter of, I'd say about 15 minutes, you can see what they were doing and where they were doing it. You see that spotlight right there? That make-believe sun? They want us to believe that that is the sun. That is not the sun. The sun's not white. Look at the rainbow effect. That's the same effect that you would get from a light. But that's not really what I want to show you. I want to show you what they were doing. And they were already starting their grid patterns. And this is a fresh one down here. This guy, I barely caught him streaking across the sky. There's the point right there of his plane. And again, I just was snapping a few pictures with my 35 millimeter. And lo and behold, I mean, what are they doing? There's your nice big X pattern right in front of the sun. And then you could see back through here, you could see already dissipating and creating that haze. And then about 30 minutes later, I'm out there and I'm just watching them. You know, I mean, how many of these pictures can you see every single day on YouTube, of these, this phenomenon. But within 30 minutes of all of those planes zipping by, look what occurred. Look at it. That's just plain damn weird. That's no regular cloud formation of any freaking kind. They didn't talk about this on my local weather that morning. They said that it would be clear skies all day, all night. I mean, was the weather girl on crack? Did she get bad information? Or do the aerosol injections not show up on the damn radar? Because they sure as hell polluted my skies within a matter of an hour and a half. So I stayed out there and I took more photographs. You could see one streaking here. You could see another one faintly streaking here. You could see another one right in there. They're going to town, man. Look what they did. Absolutely disgusting. And what do you see right there? Hidden behind the cloak of the trails, the spotlight. Take a good look at that. I'll just leave that on the screen for a few seconds. You tell me, does that look like the sun shining through some cloud cover? No, it doesn't. I took another picture, about 2-3 minutes later. And again, you can start to see how this is starting to dissipate, but it forms that that very, very thin haze throughout the sky. But this effect that you're seeing here, I haven't seen too much of this. Kind of looks like a reptile skin or chicken skin. Very odd. Not normal. And again, you have these people out there that claim that we're all idiots because we're analyzing what we are truly seeing in our skies with our own eyes. What you're seeing here on your screen, folks, is not normal. This didn't appear on any local news, weather report, or radar. And I left my house after I took those photographs, and I was on my way running to the store, and I noticed even more of this. So I was actually in a plaza, and lo and behold, I was watching this stuff dissipate and form that haze, and then come streaking out, Zip. There you go. There he is. Laying it down. Laying it down heavy, man. And then right after that, I traveled a few more miles. And what I was doing is I was trying to drive towards the area where there was more blue sky. And I did. But no sooner than I parked my car and put it in park and turned the key off, well, look what they were doing. And again, if you just think about it, FAA regulations, do you honestly think that you're allowed to fly commercial jet airliners? Here is the plane right there. He's high up there. You could see his little speck of a plane right there. He just crossed the path of another plane that was going this way. So the only pilots that are allowed to do that, well, you know who they are. Yeah. Can't mention their name during my live stream. But we all know. And then, you know, this was a really good picture here. Because you have one plane here going this way. You have another plane going this way. Well, I'd have to say that's going to be a close call. But they're in communication. They know their routes. But again, that's not normal air travel, folks. And we know that. And people who go out there on YouTube and they try to debunk this by saying it's not real, yeah, they obviously don't know too much about FAA regulations. And you all know that planes are not allowed to travel in this manner, crisscross each other's paths. What do they call that? A mid-air collision. Yeah. So, after I left that location, I started heading back to my neighborhood. When I got back to my neighborhood, wow, this was the picture that I took. Complete garbage in the sky. Just looked totally, totally weird. You know? And as I said, when I looked at the photographs on my computer, they just looked, excuse me, looked really, really, really just weird. Like a big spotlight up there. Not your normal sun. Just didn't make sense. Never does. But looking closer at these, whatever these are, they're not real clouds. That's for damn sure. What is that? Oh, nothing. You know, and they always come up with new names for some of these cloud formations. You know, they've always got a new name for it, new scientific name. And here's one of our buddies again. He's making sure, ooh, we have a little bit of clear sky over here. Ooh, we better get in there and zap that. And you could see him, clear as a bell. And about 1 hour later, and this was in the middle of the afternoon, things got very weird as far as the coloring of the sky. Things got really, really dark, as you can see. Now, I haven't changed any color. These are all natural pictures. You can see right down here along the bottom, the horizon just got really, really dark. And this was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now remember, we're picking up 1 hour every single day, so it stays light a little bit longer now. But looking down at the bottom here, it just had this weird, rusty looking color. It just looked weird, and it never cleared up. It got darker and darker and darker as every 15 minutes went by, and then that's it. The whole entire sky was this dirty, filthy gray color. And that was it. And then on the local news, they talked about crystal clear skies over the greater Pittsburgh area this afternoon. I hope you all enjoyed the day. That's what they said. Well, I don't know what skies you were looking at, weather girl, but the sky, and I'm 25 miles south of the city, so there weren't any clear skies above my head. This is what I was looking at. Yeah. Maybe they should have me do the weather. Here's more of their crisscross patterns. Again, X marks the spot. There's just more of their nonsense. Folks, I take these pictures every day, just about every day. I want to keep myself in the loop. Just a bunch of nonsense up above. That's the way that it is. But anyways, folks, I wanted to bring that to you on that information that Maverick dropped off to me. I thought that that view of all of those objects gathering in our solar system from 1970 to 2015, that model showed all of that stuff, just making our solar system a very, very, very crowded place. And again, that's where we're getting our theories, learning about the dynamics of stars, learning about the dynamics of planets, and there is still a lot to learn. And we will continue to investigate and research and bring the information to each and every one of you. So it was a very, very interesting video. Maverick, I thank you very, very much for showing me that piece of footage. I'm actually going to examine it a little bit more this evening. I'm going to slow it down. And if I find something that's rather interesting, believe me, guys, I will come out here and I will show all of you, because disclosure and truth is what it's all about. And like I've said before, you can't smash the truth movement, man. It's too strong. There's way too many of us out there on this planet that are searching for the truth, and we're bringing it out day in and day out. I'd like to thank Dawn, our moderator, for doing a fantastic job. Dawn, love you to death, baby. Each and every one of you guys, thank you very much for being with me this evening. Stay safe out there, and listen, keep an eye in the sky. Watch your weather, because it is your biggest enemy. This is Scott from Planet X News. Thank you for watching.